Leaders with the Louisiana Workforce Commission say they've brought in about 350 workers to handle the phone lines because they know that many of you have questions or issues with your unemployment benefits. They're trying to handle the influx of people calling, wanting to know the status about their claims. Earlier in the pandemic, leaders say they cross-trained employees to deal with the increase of people calling. Leaders have said there have been issues with people filing online. The site could not handle the amount of people filing at one time, which led to some delays with people getting their benefits. The commission asked site operators to make sure that the web page can handle the influx of people filing to prevent issues with people's benefits in the future. Now, while they said that the site is working now, they urge people to file online instead of calling.
It hadn't been perfect and hadn't been pretty, and there's been delays, but we're working very hard, and you have a dedicated group of people here that are concerned and want to do a good job.
Yeah, but we know that if you call, some people say it takes at least 3 hours to get through. Leaders have said they paid out $3.9 billion since the beginning of the year, which also includes the pandemic. Compare that to all of last year. That number is $154 million in unemployment benefits. People lined up outside the International High School of New Orleans this morning for coronavirus testing, but once again, a testing site ran out shortly after it opened. This is a problem nationwide as more people are going to get tested for COVID-19. There are 2 test sites open tomorrow in New Orleans, one again at International High School that opens at 8 a.m. and the second site opens at 11 a.m. at the Marigny Opera House on St. Ferdinand Street. A similar situation played out in Jefferson Parish this morning. The parish tweeted that the testing site at Celebration Church in Kenner closed before it even officially opened. That was also due to the number of people who were already lined up to get tested. That site will reopen tomorrow at 11, and the parish advises arrive early. We continue to keep track of the rising number of coronavirus cases in Louisiana, and today that number does remain high. The Louisiana Department of Health says there are 1,843 new cases of COVID-19 in the state since yesterday. That brings the total number of cases to 71,994. There are 16 more deaths since yesterday. The number of people hospitalized and the number of people on ventilators have both gone up as well. The U.S. set another record for new coronavirus cases yesterday with more than 59,000 infections. Texas and California both reported their highest single-day death toll. CBS's Chris Martinez has more from Los Angeles.
In this packed intensive care unit in Texas's Rio Grande Valley, most patients lay motionless. Almost all need a ventilator to breathe.
It's getting bad. It's starting to affect every one of us.
Hospitalizations have more than doubled in Texas in the last 2 weeks. Juana Prieto and her husband are both COVID patients. Her 35-year-old daughter died from the virus last week.
There are no words I can describe this. Losing your kid, my only daughter.
Cases have more than doubled across Florida.
This is absolutely the busiest it's been since it all started.
Despite the surge in Florida, Disney World in Orlando is holding a preview today for pass holders before the park formally reopens on Saturday. Arizona is another hotspot. Less than 150 ICU beds are left statewide. Phoenix Fire Captain Rob McDade says close to 100 firefighters have likely been infected.
It was humbling, I think, to our department to see so many of our members get it.
In Los Angeles County, cases have doubled in 1 month. Officials say no county test appointments are available for the rest of the week, and there may be shortages for weeks to come.
We see choke points nationally in the supply chain.
There is a bit of hopeful news. LA says its infection rate is starting to go down. Chris Martinez, CBS News, Los Angeles.
And Los Angeles's infection rate was 1.26 last week. It is now estimated to be at 1.01. Dr. Anthony Fauci, the nation's leading infectious disease expert, says that coronavirus cases are on the rise because states reopened too quickly and didn't follow health guidelines. He suggested that states may need to consider another shutdown to stop dramatic community spread. This comes as the government is also responding to shortages of personal protective equipment again, and even a shortage of nurses and doctors in some of the hotspot areas.